Okay, would like to welcome everyone and call to order the regular meeting of the West Valley City Council. It is May 13th, 2025, and we're beginning our meeting at 6:30 p.m. in the council chambers of West Valley City Hall. We have all members of the council present: Councilmember Wood, Councilmember Whetstone, Councilmember Harmon, Councilmember Hune, myself, Councilmember Christensen, and Councilmember Norfelt. We're also joined at the dais with our city manager, Mr. Peely, and our city recorder, Ms. Kamick. We'll now turn the time to Councilmember Hune for our opening ceremony.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to invite all of you to stand up and do a pledge of allegiance with me. Thank you. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have our minutes from May 6, 2025. Turn those to the council for discussion or a motion.
I move to approve those minutes.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Everyone in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And those stand approved. We have our awards, ceremonies, and proclamations, and we'll begin with our recognition of Chris Crash Pope and Jeff Jensen for running West Valley City. And I'll invite our Communication Director, Sam Johnson, to the pulpit to introduce these two individuals we'd like to recognize.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I am very excited to do this tonight. This is a hobby of mine, which I love, and I thought this was a great opportunity to present this to you and have you recognize the accomplishments of Crash Pope and Jeff Jensen today. As you're looking up here on the screen, you see a map of West Valley City, and all of the purple that you see are the streets that these two have run in West Valley City. And you're seeing some outliers that are outside of the city because they do other work now as well, but they are long-time residents of West Valley City. And each one of those streets is ones that their feet have touched, and they have run those streets. You can tell that they're runners. You can tell I'm a walker. I like walking a lot. They do the running. And to give you a little information, so I'm going to tell this in a little bit of a storytelling, that Crash Pope and Jeff Jensen are both longtime West Valley City residents. They wanted to run every single street in the city, and it quickly became a full-on urban adventure through mapping neighborhoods they'd never seen, discovering hidden parks, and weaving through communities block by block. There are 2,023 walkable and runnable streets in West Valley City. That totals over 427 miles. A lot of these streets are cul-de-sacs. A lot of the streets you have to backtrack. So I think to say they've run over 500 or 600 miles in the city is probably fair to do. I'd like to bring them both up. And I'm putting them a little on the spot if there's anything that they wanted to say about why they did this. Do we have a spokesman between you two that would like to explain why you decided to run West Valley City?
I don't know. We've always run. I've lived in West Valley for probably more than 20 years. And it's like, I guess this movement actually started a long time ago. Someone ran all the streets in San Francisco. And so it's like, I'd heard about this movement that, hey, it'd be fun to run every street that I live. I mean, normally you run certain routes by your house. And so the ones around my house within a half mile were already run. So then it's branching out, and found this program that helped record it for me. So I didn't have to pull a map and highlight everything.
Yeah, and once I saw Chris, and me and Chris have been buddies for a long time, and once I saw what he was doing, we run quite a bit, and so this just mixed it up. It gave us something different to do, something to change it up a bit. And so as he was going, I was like, all right, I'll do it too. And so he ran a lot of these streets twice because he reran them with me, a lot of the ones he had already done. So
One of the things I found kind of fun about it, well, kind of fun in the sense of I looked at their numbers about a week ago and they were at 99.5%. And I'm like, council approved a new area to be built, a new zoning, new streets. So when streets get added, all of a sudden your totals drop because you haven't run those streets. So I was going to say something to them and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to say it. They probably got busy schedules. And then I checked this morning and they had run those streets to make sure they were at 100%, which is fantastic. When this all came about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I mentioned it to executive staff that we were doing it. And John Springmeyer with Economic Development reached out to one of our local companies, Petzl, and talked about the accomplishments that these two had made. And they have given a gift. Sorry, that made it a lot more dramatic than I wanted it to be. But they gave some headlamps so that when they are out late at night, they'll be able to do it safely.
Early morning.
Or early morning. There we go.
4:30 a.m.
That is early morning. So this is from Petzl, and they just wanted to say, keep up the good work and wanted to show their appreciation to you. And I'll turn it over to council if there's anything that needs to be said and for their little award as well.
Yeah, so I want to congratulate you. I mean, I sometimes, like maybe 6 times a year, walk my neighborhood. So for you to have this motivation and commitment, it's very, very impressive. So we have we have really nice plaques for you. I shouldn't say little, these plaques for each of you. So if you would like to come up and shake the hands of the council, and we'll give you your plaques and then take some pictures. Oh, you can just do it down here, yeah. So Scott's a runner, so this will be his new challenge.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
Okay, if you want to come right here, we'll get some pictures. And we'll give you, let's give you these first so that Jeff,
You can hold that. Yeah.
Yes.
there you go.
There we go. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Oh, here's the little,
It'll keep you from breaking them here in the car.
so anybody else want to take the challenge? Oh, how many years did it take to do it?
Little over a year.
Oh, okay,
And I think more the time, because I really like trail running more.
okay.
We're training for 100-mile races.
Oh,
Wow.
Jeff's got one in September, the Wasatch 100. That he's getting ready. It's got like 23,000 feet of climbing. So
so that's amazing.
we do a lot of running up Mountain Corridor.
Yeah.
Well, Lodestone has a new bike trail. Maybe you can run that now.
I've done it.
Okay, never mind. You've got it under,
We run through the skate parks for fun too.
okay.
Bonneville Shoreline.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's awesome. All right, our next is a proclamation declaring Saturday, May 17th, 2025, Armed Forces Day in West Valley City. And I'll turn the time over to Councilman Whitstone.
Thank you, Mayor. A proclamation declaring Saturday, May 17th, 2025 as Armed Forces Day in West Valley City. Whereas Armed Forces Day was established in 1949 to honor Americans serving in the 5 branches of the United States military, the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, and Coast Guard, and is observed annually on the 3rd Saturday in May. The newly formed West Valley City Veterans Committee would like to acknowledge the efforts of service members in West Valley City and across the state. And the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces serve with honor, dedication, and courage, both at home and abroad, to protect the freedoms and security of our nation And Utah is home to approximately 140,000 veterans who have served or are currently serving in the armed forces of the United States, contributing significantly to our communities and state. This includes an estimated 6,000 Army National Guard, 5,868 Army Reserve, 1,499 Air National Guard as of last week, 1,300 Air Force Reserve, 95 Marine Corps Reserve, and approximately 50 Navy Reserve members. And the Coast Guard is represented by 3 active members and 87 Coast Guard auxiliary volunteers who patrol Utah's 7 lakes. The U.S. Space Force also has about 20 active duty members in Utah. Nearly 50% of our military force is composed of Guard and Reserve service members, highlighting their vital role in our national defense and local communities. And Utah hosts several key military installations, including Hill Air Force Base, which in fiscal year 2024 has had a total annual economic impact of approximately $13 billion, supporting over 32,000 jobs. Tooele Army Depot, which plays a vital role in the storage and maintenance of military equipment, contributing significantly to the state's economy. Dugway Proving Ground, which focuses on testing and evaluating chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear defense systems, supporting nearly 2,500 jobs and contributing $225 million to Utah's economy. Wendover Airfield, which serves as an emergency field for Hill Air Force Base and the Utah Test and Training Range, a training base for the Utah National Guard, and served as a major training base in World War II for heavy bombers. It is the only airfield for the Manhattan Project's B-29 training and bomb delivery development. Whereas these military installations collectively bolsters Utah's economy by supporting tens of thousands of jobs, fostering innovation, and enhancing national security while strengthening partnerships between military, government, and private sectors. And the impact of Utah's veterans extend far beyond their military service as they continue to lead in business, education, healthcare, public service, and community development, enriching our state with their values, skills, and leadership. And the mayor and city council of West Valley City recognize the significance of Armed Forces Day as an opportunity for all citizens to express appreciation to those who have served and those who continue to serve in uniform. Now, therefore, the mayor and city council of West Valley City do hereby proclaim Saturday, May 17th, 2025 as Armed Forces Day in West Valley City. And I call upon all residents to join honoring the dedication, patriotism, and sacrifice of the members of our armed forces, past, present, and future, dated this 13th day of May 2025. So with that, if there are members, and I do see a few members of the West Valley City Veteran Committee, would you like to come up and do a photo with the proclamation? I don't know. There's at least a couple. Thank you. Yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you. All right, we will now accept public comment. Comment period is limited to 30 minutes. Any person wishing to comment shall limit their comments to 3 minutes. Upon recognition by the mayor, you will approach the microphone. If you did not have a chance to sign up, please give us your name and address. Any comment shall be directed to the mayor. No person addressing the city council during the comment period shall be allowed to comment more than once. Comments shall be limited to the city business and matters within the purview of the city council. Speakers should not expect any debate with the mayor, city council, or city staff. The mayor, city council, and city staff may respond after the comment period has concluded. Speakers shall refrain from personal attacks against fellow residents, city staff, or members of the city council. Now, this evening, we have a application ZPZ1 2025, which is also a public hearing. So if you're here in regards to that, that's the property on 3201 South Redwood Road. We have a special time for that, and it'd probably be best to hold your comments until that time. So speaker one.
I'm Mike Markham. I hate to admit this, but I think the city has won. No matter how hard I've tried to work on my neighborhood and places to make it nice, we keep issuing or putting in loopholes that these people can get through. Lack of yard maintenance. We give them their deal, they do it, haven't touched it since. Weeds are right back. I guess you can have as many wrecked cars in your front yard as you want, as long as you have a cover over them. City policy. So I've tried to do some of these things. I get a lot of neighbors that give me kudos, but they won't leave their living rooms to give me any support. So the only thing I can say is I believe the city has won, has beat me down. I've been doing this for about 20 years, trying to get some real issues taken care of, from the one we've talked about multiple times to the used car lots that we've had, that I even had Mr. Pyle going out and looking at and working on with me. We've got semis parked in the city up the road from me. People start stacking their yard stuff out the day after their big pickup day, and see that, you know, it's bad yards are like a cancer. If you catch them early, you got a pretty good chance. Once they get going, you'll lose. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker two.
Hello, my name is Danny George, and I live at 3796 South, 4400 West. I'm here in regards to a tiny home that I purchased for my elderly mom. I put it in my backyard, which is on a separate parcel. It's basically a boxable. It folds down. It's like a storage container, and it folds out into a tiny home. Anyway, I was under the impression that I could have a new home for my elderly parent, and then I found out that I needed a permit and a variance in order to do that. So, like I said, it's a storage container. It's approximately 396 square feet, and it folds down into a box, and it's currently folded down into a home. And I've been unable to finish it due to West Valley City ordinance. Let's see. I would appreciate it if you could issue me a variance. I want my mom to be close to me, as she is a victim of domestic abuse from my father for over 50 years, and we were finally able to get her away from him. Anyway, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make this happen, and anyway, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Speaker three.
Good evening, Sophia Hostiggy, 4170 South 2735 West. I come before you today with gratitude and appreciation for the proclamation that was just read today and signed by the members of the City Council and the mayor. As a U.S. Navy veteran myself, and my father having served in the Air Force for 20 years, as well as having uncles and granduncles that served in the Army and Navy, it is definitely very important to me that we recognize the efforts of a lot of these people. A lot of people of my dad's generation came home to people spitting at them and calling them baby killers. And they were simply trying to do their job and trying to basically protect our liberties
and our freedoms. What deeply concerns me right now are the number of veterans, a number of especially active duty and reservists that are being drummed out of the military based on their diversity and because they because of their perceived or actual gender identity. This is very troubling. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be without work. They're looking to struggle to survive, as well as a number of veterans and a lot of people that have been drubbed out of the Veterans Administration. So I want to make sure that we as a city keep this population in our hearts and know that these were highly skilled individuals that were simply doing their job to try to keep America safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker 4.
Good evening, Mayor. My name is Scott Dunn. I live on in the Sunset Hills subdivision, and the Sunset Hills subdivision has a 111 highway on its border. At 6200 South and 6600 South, those intersections have very high-speed cars going by. And just the other day, I think about 2 or 3 days ago, there was an accident, a very bad accident on the northbound side of the 111. And it seems to me that a roundabout would help to slow the speeds down and increase the safety of the intersections at both 6200 South and 6600 South. And another thing that it would do is it would help to provide ingress and egress for people who are on foot, for people who ride bikes. I'm hoping that eventually somebody will build a bridge across the 85 so that the kids can walk to school. It would be really nice to be able to walk to school, get some exercise. And finally, a number of studies have shown that roundabouts are much safer than stoplights. And I've seen a lot of people play that going far too fast, not really paying attention, making left turns in front of oncoming traffic. And it's actually quite scary at times. So I'm a very conscientious, self-defensive driver. And I think that a roundabout would be a good solution for our communities to increase the safety at those two intersections. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Speaker 5. Sam?
Oh, I think I thought I was just signing up that I was here.
Oh, okay, thanks for attending.
Yeah.
All right, was there anyone else that wished to speak that didn't have a chance to sign up?
Jim Visock, 541 West Lockwood in West Valley City. Thanks for the proclamation for West Valley City. And I wanted to invite you guys all to our Memorial Day event at the memorial. It'll be our first one in many years. It's one thing I've complained about, that we built this memorial and we're expanding on it and we're not doing anything there. This year we're doing something. So it'd be great to see you guys come out. We're still not sure what the program's going to be. So, but it'll be something great to see our city leaders come out, and as much money as we've spent on it. Going on what Mike was saying about the code enforcement. Code enforcement is out there. They're just overwhelmed right now because, like you said, the weeds. I have 2 in my neighborhood. You turn down Peggy Lane and there's 2 houses. One of them's for sale and the weeds are 2-3 foot tall and it looks terrible when everybody else is trying to keep their yards, and then you hit 2 of them in one neighborhood. I understand all the issues that they have with courtesy notice and stuff like that. And I was talking to Chief Young about it, and I would like to see more of the administrative citations handed out. But even then, they still have an issue on, especially if it's flippers flipping the house. Okay, who does it go to? Where does it go to? If they don't get it in time, if the house is already in escrow, there's a whole bunch of things. Those are the kind of things we need to be looking at trying to fix. Making it easier for them to do their job. I know that there's a process thing for owners and residents, but for the people that are coming in to our city flipping a property and then let it go to pot once it goes into escrow, and escrow could be 60, 90 days, depending on some of these properties. This one's selling for $549,000. You know, a few years ago, the houses were selling for 70 in the neighborhood 10 years ago. So it's amazing, you know, the profits that they're going to be making on this, and then they just walk away and leave a mess. And this poor owner is going to come in there and the city's going to be hammering them right away. So there's got to be a better way. And Chief Young has many ideas, and hopefully as you guys are putting together a standard operating procedure and giving his code enforcement people the tools to do their job more efficiently and evenly throughout the city, where one area is not just getting hammered, because some areas tend to be worse than others. You know, that's been the goal for over about 10 years, you know, and I know for a few years we had some resistance, but it seems like we're on the right path. I just want you guys to keep remembering the goal was standard operating procedures, easier way to do their job, more efficient for our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Was there anyone else that didn't have a chance to sign up that would like to speak? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public comment. And is there anyone on the council that would like to say anything?
Yes, ma'am. May I? Yeah, thank you. Just one thing I want to share with you. I just wanted to know is that we have a new administration. It's E4. Phil Lee is a very good city manager. And if you want to talk to him about the code enforcement, and he's happy to visit with you. Another things I wanted to want to share with you is in the previous administration, they didn't allow us to go with the code enforcement officer. Period. But this administration allow council member to ride along with code enforcement. In the past, I just want to share with you one more thing about it. In the past, is about 3 or 4 residents. They came here and visited and spoke at the microphone here about their code enforcement. Now it's different. So I have to look at both sides of the story. You know, there's a room for us to work more and improve, but it's a lot better. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no others, we'll go on to our public hearings. Our public hearing this evening is for application GPZ 1 2025, which would change the general plan from general commercial and low density residential to medium density residential, and a zone change from general commercial to multi-unit dwelling residence for property at 3201 South Redwood Road. The applicant is proposing to demolish all of the existing buildings except the Beddoes Restaurant and construct 24 units, 2-story, 4-cell townhome development. The project will also include 1.6 acres for commercial use. So I will now open the public hearing for this item. Is there anyone here to speak on it? Okay, come to the mic and give us your name and address.
Thank you for having us out tonight. My name is Sean Steinman. I am with the Salt Lake Home Builders Association in the government affairs for them as well. Just wanted to come out and say thank you for putting this on the agenda, and very grateful for projects exactly like this, creating more attainable housing within the community. And we're in full support of projects like this. And we know that West Valley historically has had many projects like this, and I think this just allows for better sustainability within the community and more attainability as well, which means better tax dollars and building of parks and supporting the schools and all of that. So we're in very deep support of this. I also own commercial buildings here in West Valley as well, and like to support as much as we can within the area. So thank you guys so much.
Hey, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Hello, Richard Brent Parks, live at 1632 West, 33rd South. My property almost backs up to the property mentioned. I know two of you very well. Your son and daughter-in-law moved into our ward recently. Good to actually see you for the first time. I didn't get a chance to see the new plan. And one of the things when we talked to the planning in the planning meeting, and I see that they totally went backwards to that, is that have you all driven on Leicester Street? Do you think you can handle this much more traffic? I've been on that street, cars on both sides. You can barely, one car has to wait for another one to come, and now you're adding a lot of traffic onto that very, very narrow street. Before it was going to go out onto Redwood, I see that that has been completely eliminated. 33rd South, we have a lot of cars that like to express their speed ability. I mentioned that last time. I know my neighbor has tried to get traffic control speed bumps on 33rd South to try to help control some of those, I'll call them rice burners. Because we get that multiple times a day. Also, the traffic with all the construction at the Veterans Memorial Extension is coming up and down that street, which, we've got just in about 3 houses at any given time, we can have 20 children under the age of 10. So major concern there, major concern with just the amount of traffic. I don't believe the Planning Commission approved the previous plan. This one wasn't presented at a planning meeting to take public comment that I know of. So I just, right now the citizens that I've talked to that live in this area, that have been and will continue to, who's more important, the developers or the citizens? The people that move into here, they aren't going to know what they're getting into until they move in, and they may not appreciate having to go either way on Leicester Street to get in and out, especially at certain times of day and with all the parking. So I just hope you take that into consideration. This plan looks worse than the previous one that wasn't approved. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else wish to speak to this item?
Hi, my name is John Domichel, and I'm a trustee of the Franklin and Domichel Trust and Domichel Lands LLC. I guess as you can see, the project, it's actually been downsized. Okay, the first proposal was 31 units. The next was 28. Now we're at 24. Okay, we've got a lot of open space there, and we've got a lot of additional parking towards the west. I'm not going to say there isn't a time that one of these streets has some kind of an incident, but what I will tell you is that Leicester Street is 28 or 29 feet wide. Okay, the majority of the streets in the older part of West Valley City are only 25. The other thing is that if you look at the photographs that have been presented on Leicester Street, you don't ever see any traffic on it. When I go back there, because I just wanted to make sure about the measurements and things like that. The only reason people might have to drive around is because there were vehicles parked on the one part of Leicester Street just down from the apartment complex. There were 4 vehicles. Okay, but the rest of that, the same goes for 33rd South. If you take a look at that, I'm not sure what the traffic count is. I probably knew a long time ago, but I don't now. There's not a lot of traffic that travels 33rd South. They're all coming out from the complex behind this new venue, proposed venue, or people going back in there. The majority of people drive from that section over to 3100 South because there's a light. If you try and go across Redwood Road on 33rd South, you'll find that there's not a light there and there's an oncoming street. So people are kind of hesitant to that. But the time that I've gone, I mean, and I'm usually down there probably between 3 and 5 times a week. I have never had any issue getting out either from the backside on Lester Street to go over to 31 South, or even if when I drove through there, I came out on 33rd South, there wasn't any issue there. The other thing is I don't know, Sam's probably get up here with Drown Development, and he's going to, talk a little about his project. Okay, so if you look at this thing now, okay, so you have a lot of amenities that are very close to this. Okay, you have the West Valley City Multicultural Center, just up 3100 South, which is probably 700 or 800 feet from these places right there. As you go down 3100 South and into the commercial part right across from this proposal, you'll see that there's a Family Dollar there, okay, a grocery store. Across the street on Redwood Road, you got a Maverick Country Store. You've got the Subway. I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a car wash, a bank on the corner there. If you travel north, on Research Way, you have tracks. Okay, you have a substation there and also one in front of the Maverick Center if you go up 3100 South. If you travel a little bit farther north on Redwood Road, what you find is a Redwood Elementary. Okay, that's actually used to be in walking distance because I used to walk to school there. And it actually does have an overpass. It's got a bridge, so you can walk over Redwood Road. You don't have to wait they do have a light there now. Unfortunately, there was a child killed when I went to school there. And several years later, they put the bridge there, and that eliminated all that. If you come across, okay, you got the Maverick Center, you come across, you got, the shopping center with theaters, Costco, City Center, a lot of venues. I just think it'd be a great place to have a family community there, and I appreciate your vote for the project. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Okay, seeing none, we will now close the public hearing for this item. We have 3 action items attached to this application. Ordinance 25-06 for the general plan change. Ordinance 25-07 for the zoning change, and resolution 25-75 for the development agreement. So I'll turn those items over to the council for discussion or a motion.
Thank you, Mayor. May I ask Steve Patrick come up here and explain to us a little bit about what you discussed in a study meeting about the agreement with the city, so everyone can understand. Question is about the signature. Can you elaborate that one a little bit more?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Right. So with the development agreement that was prepared, I think is that the concern. So at the time when we first prepared the draft of the development agreement for the new concept, we were anticipating 28 units, just based on a rough draft at that point. So we prepared the agreement, it was signed. This latest concept now has 24 units. So the agreement allows up to 28, but given this concept with the parking that's needed and the amount of open space, 24 is probably more likely what will be actually built, just given other requirements with the parking and the open space.
So the seller, he signed the paperwork yet?
Right. So the development agreement as written is signed by the property owners, and it's stated right now that there can be up to 28 units. But again, the code still does require the parking and open space. So in in effect, it will likely end up being more like 24 units, even though the agreement technically allows up to 28.
So between 28 and 24 is a tricky park right there, correct?
They're, again, unless they came up with some other design, it probably is going to be 24 units, just because under this concept, they're right at 50%, which is the required open space, and they're also right at the number of parking spaces they need.
Did you study a little bit about Lesser Street? It's a small road right there. People, they park on both sides of the road, up and down. Did we have a chance to take a look at that street yet?
So that was something that was discussed with planning commission. So it is just a residential, typical residential street. We do have other streets that have parking on them. So I don't think it's too different from other residential streets in that regard.
But it's barely to pass through or to go through because people, they park both sides of the street. And just, if you go, one car go north and one car goes south, it's it's hard to get by.
I mean, I know we've looked at one neighborhood before, the possibility of restricting. I mean, there is the possibility of restricting parking to just one side of the street. I know the city's, there's at least one precedent for that. If that's a concern, the city could potentially limit or what side of the street parking could occur in Leicester.
That we're going to create more problem if we allow this happen. We're going to do to the same thing with the one in south of the Costco. Here is my question is the traffic there and also the signature. That's what I'm really concerned about. I know they work hard. They try to get like 31, 28 and go down 24. I appreciate the effort for doing that. I appreciate that. But the traffic, if you see the Lesser Street, is a very, very narrow. If you go there and you check it out, I just check it out a couple of days ago. Make sure before I come here and say the right thing here. So that's my concern about because people, those houses back there, they park both sides. Just kind of the same thing like we have right now, the problem we have in the King Point area. That's, I think you're familiar with that one, is the 1300 West. And between 3500 South and 241 South. People, they come here, they complain about that. Also, sometimes I just go there and visit them and they complain about the traffic. You see there's so many cars just parked on the street. And when they pull in and they pull out, I cannot look on the left side or right side when they make a left or a right turn. And I'm worried about that right here, the same thing. In Lesser Street, if they pull out, they'll make a right turn, a left turn, they have to look both sides, and it is very hard for them to look at because cars are parked alongside the road here.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I ask
Yep.
one more
Yep.
question? So Steve, so Planning Commission did not approve this?
Right. The version they saw only had part of the property along Redwood Road as commercial. And so based on that concept, they recommended denial. It wasn't until it was discussed with the council that the applicant decided to forward a new concept with commercial along the entire frontage.
And they felt like it's more fitting the way it is on this proposal without saying it, but they thought the front should be commercial.
Right. That was
Planning
the
Commission.
Planning Commission. One of their comments was they felt like that the frontage should be commercial. That was their main
Okay.
objection that was stated.
Thanks.
So along with that, is there a point where the application changes so much that it would go back to Planning Commission or?
So the reason we did not in this case is that the amount or the extent of the zone change is actually decreasing. So right now, most of this property is already zoned commercial. So they're actually rezoning less property than the original proposal. So if it were the other way around where they were rezoning more, then we would go back. But in this case, since they were reducing the amount of the rezone, we didn't feel it needed to go back to the planning commission.
And one more question, sorry.
Sure.
So the development agreement says up to 28. Does this still have to be approved as like a subdivision plat or something? So as long as they didn't go over the 28, but it doesn't look like they can fit 28 in here,
Right.
given the change in the commercial. Okay.
But is that they can go to 28 if they
The only
with
way,
agreement.
the only way they could do 20 is if they found some way to reconfigure the site and still get the parking in the open space and do 28 units, which looking at this, I'm not sure how they would, but perhaps there's a way to modify that. But under this concept, they're pretty much right at where they need to be.
Right, we look into the site plan right here. I think maybe is we cannot see if they're gonna get the 28, but if legally allow them to do that.
If they meet all those other requirements, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. Pastrick? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I think this is a vast improvement over what was originally submitted. And given the constraints with zoning, I don't know that we need to continue it. I would feel comfortable making a motion to approve ordinance 25-06.
I'm also pretty comfortable, but I'm just going to add a little tweak to that. Approving this with a change to the development agreement to 24, even though we'll be in limbo for a few days, the seller could hopefully sign that. So that's my motion.
Does the maker of the motion approve that?
I would be fine with that.
Okay. Good enough. Okay. We have a motion and a second. Ms. Kamic.
Councilmember Wood,
Yes.
Councilmember Whetstone,
Yes.
Councilmember Harmon,
Yes.
Councilmember Hune,
No,
Councilmember Christensen,
Yes.
Councilmember Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Ling.
Yes,
Motion passes by majority.
thank you. So now you have ordinance 25-07.
Motion to approve ordinance 25-07. I don't know, do we put that stipulation on every?
This is just the general plan change. So I think you'd put the other, that restriction on the development agreement.
Third one.
On the third one.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Ms. Kamic.
Councilmember Nordfelt,
Yes.
Councilmember Christensen,
Yes.
Councilmember Hune,
no,
Councilmember Harmon,
Yes.
Councilmember Whetstone,
Yes.
Councilmember Wood,
Yes.
and Mayor Ling.
Yes.
Motion passes by majority.
Okay, thank you. Then we have resolution 25-75, which is the development agreement.
Motion to approve resolution 25-75 with the adjustment to the 24 unit maximum.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Ms. Kamic.
Councilmember Wood,
Yes.
Councilmember Whetstone,
Yes.
Councilmember Harmon,
Yes.
Councilmember Hune,
no,
Councilmember Christensen,
Yes.
Councilmember Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Ling.
Yes.
Motion passes by majority.
Okay, thank you. We now have our resolutions. We'll begin with resolution 25-73, which is to approve an Olympic and Paralympic venue grant fund agreement with Utah Division of Facilities, Construction and Management. This resolution would provide $500,000 in matching funds for the Maverick Center. These funds will be used to replace the exterior LED ribbon board and for the feasibility study for future renovations. to the council for discussion or a motion.
Mayor, I just wanted to say one thing about this. I was speaking with staff about this. There are a lot of good reasons to move forward with this. I certainly don't want to leave funds on the table by not matching it. But personally, I don't like taxpayer dollars going towards things like this. I don't agree with what's happening in Salt Lake with their entertainment district. So I'm not voting for this. I'm not going to make a motion because I don't know that it'll even get a second, but I'm not voting for it.
I move for approval of resolution 25-73.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Ms. Kamic.
Councilmember Wood,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitstone,
No.
Councilmember Harmon,
Yes.
Councilmember Hune,
Yes.
Councilmember Christensen,
Yes.
Councilmember Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Ling.
Yes.
Motion passes by majority.
Thank you. We have resolution 25-74 to approve the purchase of an LED ribbon board and related equipment from Freedom LED. This resolution would allow for the purchase of an LED ribbon board at the Maverick Center for a total of $237,000. To the council for discussion or a motion.
Move for approval of resolution 25-74.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Kamic.
Councilmember Nordfelt,
Yes.
Councilmember Christensen,
Yes.
Councilmember Hune,
Yes.
Councilmember Harmon,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitstone,
No.
Councilmember Wood,
Yes.
and Mayor Ling.
Yes.
Motion passes by majority.
Okay, we'll now go to our consent agenda. We have two items on the consent agenda. One is for the purchase of garbage cans from Wastequip to replace broken cans and provide new cans to new homes. The second is for an amendment to our current ACE disposal contract that would extend the contract to June 30th of 2026 and provide a 2.5% increase for rising costs. I'll turn the time to the council for discussion or a motion.
Mayor, I'll move to approve both items on the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Ms. Kamic?
Councilmember Wood,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitstone,
Yes.
Councilmember Harmon,
Yes.
Councilmember Hune,
Yes.
Councilmember Christensen,
Yes.
Councilmember Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Ling.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Okay, we have no other business for this evening, so we have one more action item.
Motion to adjourn.